So I had an autocross coming up, unfortunately due to a misunderstanding between the club and the owner of the lot. There was something that happened and they didn't really specify, but the event is canceled. That's rather unfortunate because I put in a few orders in order to prep my car for the next autocross, and that includes new transmission fluid, new brake pads. But the one thing that I'm most excited about is actually my brand new helmet. In the past, I always used to just use the loaner helmets. Now with the whole coronavirus thing, I don't even know if they have loaner helmets anymore. Plus, it was always kind of a little bit of a gross thing to wear a used helmet. Sometimes they weren't so fresh, you know? So I went ahead and got my own finally. I used to have my own for a while, but it was actually just my motorcycle helmet. And when I sold my motorcycle, I sold it to the guy with the helmet because the guy showed up from Fort Myers and was going to ride it back and didn't bring a helmet with him. So I was like, you know what? Here, include it in the cost of the thing. Don't break your head open like Humpty Dumpty. So I didn't have a helmet for a while and was using loaners. So I'm really excited to finally have a helmet again. And this one is actually a SNELL rated, automotive racing helmet, as opposed to what I had in the past, which was just a motorcycle helmet. I'm really excited to get this guy unboxed. Someone at Summit Racing clearly knows me. They just, happened to slap my dream Camaro on the front of the catalog they sent me. Let's pop this guy open. See what we're dealing with. Sweet. They've also thrown in some decals. Those are going to go on my toolbox for sure. Let's take a look at this helmet. Alright, get that out. So this is like a fit and care guide. I'll read that later. Here it is. Very nice. Very large helmet too. I have a pretty big head, so I'm a pretty big guy all around, so I had to order a real big helmet to fit my noggin. I'm really excited to finally have this thing. It's really cool. I'm not just gonna leave it as is. This is a very nice GForce racing helmet. It's got a SNELL 2020 rating on it, right, for safety. But I'm going to go ahead and paint some custom details on here. Probably do like a flag on this side in black, right? I got this white on purpose so that it matches my Camaro. So I'll do some like satin black, decorations on here in order to match the car even further. Plus it'll just look cool. I like customizing things. So stay tuned, and I'll be covering those details in another video. Alright. Let's take off the plastic here. Very, very cool. Undo the straps on the bottom. Now I did measure my head before ordering this, so I know that it should fit very well. The big issue for me is I have glasses. So let's see how this fits, shall we? Let's take a look. Wow, that visor is so clear I thought it was open for a second. Okay, here's the way to open it. See how the fitment is with glasses. And this is... fitment with glasses is always a bit of an annoyance, but that's actually pretty good. I have no complaints about that. Typically, fitment with glasses is so annoying that I actually started to consider getting an open face helmet. Those I've worn at Autocross. They're very comfortable and very nice. The only downer is, and I doubt it would happen in Autocross, right? But I'd also like to do track days. But if you were doing a track day with an open day helmet, God forbid something happened, you had an accident or whatever, I kind of like to keep my face, so protecting your face is important as well as the rest of your head, right? Nice. So yeah, I'd like to keep the rest of my head safe, right? Not just the back. I'd like to keep my face intact in the unfortunate event that I should lose control and crash on track for whatever reason. So if I were just doing autocross, I would have only gotten the open face, but since I am planning on track day, this is a very smart investment. It's so interesting how different this feels from a motorcycle helmet. This shape is also very different right here. It's very nice. I'm super happy with this thing. I'm gonna enjoy racing around in this. Maybe I'll draw like the little sad mouth to make this kind of look like a stormtrooper. You know, guarantee I don't hit any cones while I'm autocrossing by a stormtrooper helmet. Nerd joke. Sweet. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I'm excited. Can't wait to actually use this. It's kind of hot right now because we've been in the back of a UPS truck in Florida, but you know, it's very nice. I like this little sort of gear setup. I like the little sort of gear tube setup here that allows the sort of adjustment on the visor. It's pretty neat. The helmet in general is very nice with a couple vents here and there in order to keep the heat out when you're racing. That's always a good thing. Got some more up here in the back. It's got a pretty thick padded lining. It's very comfortable. So far, so good. We'll see what it looks like once I get it detailed. Actually, this black thing here is another sticker. If I don't want it, I can actually remove it. I'll leave it on for now, and later if I decide I don't like it, I'll take it off. So if you've never worn a helmet, it's actually a pretty straightforward process. Anyone you hand it to will just slip it over their head and have it on. That's not hard. The part that will give a lot of people trouble is probably this strap here. It's the chin strap. So when you put the helmet on, you have this off to the side. You slide it over your head, then you run these straps under your chin. And this kind of works like some belts I've seen. You're gonna slide this thing under both loops here, all right? So you see that there's two loops on this part, and this part's just a strap. You're gonna slide the strap underneath here and go through both loops, all right? And you'll pull it tight, then you'll run it back over this loop and under that loop or through that loop, and there you go. You can even tighten it from here. So that will keep this chin strap secure, which keeps the helmet secure on your head. Try not to choke yourself doing that by over tightening it. It can be a little bit uncomfortable. First time you do it, might make you gag a little bit, but you get used to it like anything else. It's a matter of practice. I hadn't noticed. I think these plugs maybe for Hans device mounting. Not sure. I should have researched that first, but I was so excited to go autocross. So if you're not familiar with SNELL, SNELL is a certifying body. They do safety testing for helmets. The manufacturer has to send helmets to them to test in order to get a SNELL rating, unlike say a DOT rating where the manufacturer can test it themselves to the DOT standard. So this does make it a little bit more rigorous just because there's more control over it. And one of the interesting things I noted here is that for SNELL SA2020 ratings, you actually have to have helmet restraint device mounting points built into the helmet. So that's why I noticed there were some plugs for some extra threads on my helmet. And when I say threads, I don't mean a string, I mean a threaded hole. But yeah, that's actually for mounting helmet restraints that you may know of as a Hans device. That's basically to keep your head from going full bobblehead in the event that you have a motorsports related accident while you're driving. That keeps you from doing things like getting a basal skull fracture, which is what Dale Earnhardt died from, for example. So that's a very nice thing to have. I kind of wish that I had researched more before buying this to make sure that it had that, but I'm glad that it was included regardless, just because I made sure to get the most up-to-date rating, right? So I could have ordered an SA from a previous year and it might not have had that feature. I'm not too familiar with what the current features are. I just made sure to get the latest and greatest because you're supposed to replace your helmet like every 3 to 5 years, and the ratings that they meet, will change every so often. So you want the latest and greatest safety technology, and make sure you replace it in a timely fashion. So I just went ahead and got the newest thing that they had available. And fortunately that includes Hans device mounting points. So I'm definitely going to invest in a Hans device before I do any track days. But for now, for the purposes of just autocross, a helmet alone is probably more than enough. I've been to a lot of autocrosses over the years, and really the only thing I've really seen people hit is cones and unfortunately sometimes the timing system. But other than that, there's really not much you can do to harm yourself while doing autocross. Like, I've never seen anyone actually be physically hurt. So, at least not a driver. I don't know about guys working the course. I've had some close calls doing that, actually. Not a fan of working the course while I'm talking about it. But yeah, this helmet kind of meets all the requirements that I need for track days and autocross, so I'm very happy with this purchase overall. Like anything else that I buy for my cars, the job is not complete until I put the sticker on my toolbox. And of course, none of this will ever go on my cars. This, people, is where stickers belong, not on your car. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this thing. I want to say it fits in beautifully here. Yeah, it does. It'd be funnier if I put it at an angle. There we go.